my name is Melissa Hurt, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about the importance of sustaining your breath awareness in a movement-based practice. So many times in my yoga classes, I see my students holding their breath or breathing really shallow or breathing in a way that's disjointed from their flow of movement. And they tend to feel a little bit lost somewhere in the practice. And I continually guide them towards feeling their breath as a place to anchor the mind. So first we need to feel the capacity of our breath and feel the freedom in our breath to come into the state of yoga. And the state of yoga is when we have that integration of body, mind, breath, and spirit. And that's where you'll find freedom. So what I like to do in this video is show you some practices that you can do at home. You can feel free in your breath and get to know your capacity for breathing, where you feel it moving in your body. And we'll do some movement practices to feel the integration of breath, body, mind, and spirit. And keep in mind that these movement practices are really geared at restoring and rehabilitating the postnatal body, but they're really for anybody who wants a gentle yoga practice or anyone who is recovering from any kind of physical trauma or an illness, because they're very gentle but effective practices. All right, so I'm going to start. I'm going to come off of my blanket. I do encourage you to have a nice folded blanket for your seated practice, but I'm going to come onto my back. I'm going to have my knees bent, my feet about hip distance apart. That's my sitting bones distance apart. And then I'm going to sit back, bring my knees together, and then my feet wide, a little pigeon-toed, and this is constructive rest. Constructive rest is relaxing the hip flexors and the psoas muscle, which is actually connected to your thoracic or your breathing diaphragm. So you get a lot of length and relaxation in your abdomen so you can feel the movement of your breath. So I'll start just by feeling the length of my spine from the crown of my head all the way to my tailbone. And I'm just going to notice my breath, and I encourage you to do the same. Go ahead and lie down, come into constructive rest, and just breathe easily. And notice where you feel your body moving with your breath. So you can certainly feel your chest, your upper belly, maybe your lower belly moving. But can you also feel your side ribs moving? Can you feel your back moving? We want to feel the breath moving all through the cylinder of the abdomen. So find your grounding. We'll be here for a couple more breaths before moving on. And let your breath slow down. Let it come to its fullness. And when you begin to feel how your breath is moving your body, notice how your mind begins to get a little bit more quiet and still. That's what we want. So from here, we're going to explore a breathing practice that Arthur Lesak originated. It's called pleasure smelling and pleasure sighing. You can read more about Arthur Lesak online or on my website, melissahurt.com. So pleasure smelling is imagining that you smell something you absolutely love and breathing in that beautiful aroma. And then sigh out. Do that a few more times. And then return to natural breathing. And perhaps you noticed when you were breathing with pleasure, you had a fuller capacity for breath. So that's a way to let you know how much capacity you have to breathe and for expansion and contraction in your body. Places for your mind to go. So let's bring this breath awareness into a movement-based practice. I'm going to curl onto my side, let myself push up to sit. I'll come back to my folded blanket. If it's hard for you to sit in easy pose, and if your knees are okay, you can always take your blanket, fold it, maybe a tri-fold to make like a little mini bolster out of it. There's my little mini bolster. And then I'm going to kneel on it. If your knees are okay, this is another option. We just want to keep the pelvis nice and supported. I'm going to come back to easy pose though, since that feels good for me today. Kneeling feels good too, but I'm just kind of wanting easy pose today. So from here, let's incorporate our awareness of breath and movement with some shoulder rolls. So we'll inhale with the shoulders round forward, up, exhale as they draw back and down. We'll do 10. Notice as you move your shoulders that there's movement to the spine and to the ribs. Nothing moves in complete isolation. Everything's a system. I've lost count. That's okay. I think I need 5 more. And can you continue inhaling as your shoulders roll forward and up, exhaling as they draw down and back, and you're really working to synchronize that. And you're not rushing your shoulder roll to catch up with a quick breath, but rather let your shoulder rolls be nice and slow and luxurious, and let your breath slow down to meet the movement. That will be what slows down your mind. Okay, so the shoulders are nice and released. Let them stay dropped down and back so you have a nice openness across the chest and the heart. And then we'll drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. I'm going to be your mirror image. So right ear to right shoulder. This might translate left ear to left shoulder as I'm actually doing. We'll see. Just bring your ear to your shoulder. Breathe here and feel the length of the side of your neck here as it connects all the way down to the collarbone. Keep that shoulder just down and back. So you're really opening up that space. Inhale as you come back up, maybe a little shimmy. And then bring your left ear to your left shoulder. Or just to your other ear, other shoulder, if you're doing your right ear to right shoulder. You might notice a difference from one side to the other. That's natural, it's okay. But again, keep your shoulder down and back so you can really find that length, that muscle that connects down to the collarbone. Now your collarbones move when you take a nice full breath, so it's through that nice full breathing that you will help release this muscle because it does connect to the collarbone. Again, everything is a system. Good, so I'm going to come back up, maybe a little shimmy of the shoulders, arching and rounding the upper back. Take a moment just to feel the freedom in your neck and shoulders. Do you have a little bit more capacity for breath? Maybe there's a slight buoyancy or an effervescence. And the collarbone's up. It's a welcome sensation. All right, so I'm going to come back down now to lying down. So I'll move my blanket off to the side. This time I'm going to keep my feet hip hip distance, that sitting bones distance, as I come down. And I'm going to start by doing some pelvic tilt. So if my pelvis were a bowl of soup, I'm pouring the soup along the front line of the body, down towards my feet, and then I'm going to tilt that soup bowl back and pour it down the back line of my body, flattening my low back to the mat. So just rocking that bowl of soup to and fro, opening up the low back, and again you're breathing at the same rate as your movement. Now I invite you to inhale as you point the tailbone down. That's where the bowl of soup is pouring the soup forwards. Inhale here. Exhale. See if you can find a pelvic floor contraction. You can breathe out through your mouth. Inhale, release your pelvic floor. Rock that soup bowl forward. Exhale, contract, and exhale through the mouth. We'll do 3 more like that. Inhale, release. Exhale, contract. Now you're not just squeezing the gluteal muscles, you're actually contracting the pelvic floor. Find my video on the pelvic floor to see what I'm talking about if you're not sure. And when you're doing any pelvic floor conditioning, you must synchronize it with the breath because the pelvic floor moves with your thoracic diaphragm. And you want to honor the pressure in your abdomen and that abdominal sac. Let's do 1 more, just for good measure. Good. Now come back to natural breathing. You can release the pelvic floor, just sitting or lying back in that semi-supine position. Feel the length of your spine, feel your low back, your low belly. Find that release. And now we're going to roll back onto the side and push up again. Bringing that folded blanket back. This time I'm going to keep my legs out long for staff pose. Your feet are flexed like you're standing. See how I don't have my feet loosey-goosey and soft. I'm active, like I'm standing on something. So my legs are strong. I'm going to bring my arms alongside my body, and I've got my spine nice and tall. So I'll come to do a side view so you can see what my ribs are doing, because I do want to honor an optimal alignment between my pelvis, my ribs, my shoulders, and the crown of my head. So sitting nice and tall. I'm not flaring my ribs out to sit tall. I'm not cheating from the back line of the body to feel like I'm tall. I'm honoring that lift in the mid-back while keeping the low ribs in, but then lifting through the breastbone, shoulder blades down and back. And that's my optimal alignment. So I'll sit here in staff pose, feet are active. And again, to synchronize the breath with the body and the mind, I'll do what I call the birthday candle breath, which again I've done on previous videos. So we'll inhale fully, exhale like you're blowing out a birthday candle, but a steady stream, not forced. Inhale, exhale. We'll do 3 more like that, and then we'll add on. So now I'm going to, when I get to the end of that exhalation, I'm going to pulse 5 times to really make sure that reserve of air is pushed out. And that's going to help draw in the sides. It's going to draw in my deep core muscle, the transverse abdominis, but also help draw together the rectus abdominis. If I had a diastasis recti, I would be working to heal that. So we'll breathe in, birthday candle breath out. Breathe in. Let's do one more like that. So you can really feel how that deep core is like honed in to get strong and push through that reserve. So actually, let's do 3 more of those birthday candle breaths, but this time we'll exhale on an S consonant, an S. So we'll inhale. And then you can pulse on the S. And then from here, we'll just return to natural breathing. At this stage, you can come into your final rest for your movement-based practice, your yoga practice. You can stay seated, come back to your easy pose, keep that optimal alignment of the pelvis, ribs, shoulders, crown of the head. Or if you want to lie down, you can. I'll turn to face you. So I'll sit here with you for just a minute, but you're welcome to continue in your final rest, your meditation. Continue feeling the movement of your breath and feel how you've created more space for expansion and contraction through that practice. And it's through that more space that you can quiet your mind, find a sense of wonder about yourself, and then find your spirit within. So close our eyes and just feel the breath. And if your mind starts to wander, either just feel your breath moving in and out through your nose and let that be your focal point, or you can guide your mind solely to the expansion of the belly, sides, and back as it moves out and in. So you're welcome to stay here, just listening to my voice as you continue feeling your breath in meditation. Or if you like, you can open your eyes and come back. So if you have enjoyed these practices, please share them with your friends and family, anyone who could benefit. There's an accompanying blog post at the bottom in the comments. Please leave a comment below. Let me know what you feel about this practice and how it's helped you connect with your breath, body, mind, spirit. And please subscribe to my channel. I've got lots of offerings coming up. And I hope you are well. I hope you're happy. And you can